incorrect, former police chief Daryl Gates, Mr. Show's Bob Odenkirk, actor lawman Ted Osmond, and Sheriff Joe Arpaio. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher!
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, folks. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are here on a very special night. We have a very special show of police. We're going to talk to the police and find out what is up with the police. And a good day for it, because I was pulled over today by a Los Angeles policeman for a ticket. Luckily, he let me go. He was late for an audition. But I tell you, I could have been... No, it is different out here with the police. The Malibu police. Do you see what they say on the side of the car? To surf and protect. I mean, it's... a lot of show business. Well, we have one of our officers tonight, Ken Osmond, who played Eddie Haskell and has on Leave It to Beaver. That's true. He is on the show tonight. Isn't that something that Eddie Haskell went on to be a policeman? And Lumpy went on to be the Speaker of the House. I don't know if you know. But actually, you know, crime is down, and the police deserve a lot of credit for that all over the country. A lot of it, they say, is because of this new technique called community policing, which is where they go into the neighborhoods and they get to be on a first-name basis with people, and then they beat the crap out of them. I'm kidding. Kidding. Are they laughing back there? Are they... Just kidding, Chief. Oh, God. Well, a lot of bad guys are going to jail. Heidi Fleiss, they just put away. Heidi Fleiss went... I don't agree with that, but okay. No, they said she had bad lawyers, but I don't know if anyone should have known who to hire to get you off. I would think... Anyway, thanks for coming. It's all been satirized for your protection. Thank you. Welcome to our special show with the police, and let's meet the panel. First, he is the author of America's Toughest Sheriff, How We Can Win the War Against Crime, from Maricopa County, Arizona, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Sheriff, how are you, sir? Arpaio, I did it again. All right, he is Leave It to Beaver's Eddie Haskell and also has an 18-year veteran of the LAPD, Ken Osmond. Ken, did I say that right? Osmond? Okay. Retired LAPD police chief and creator of the interactive computer game SWAT, Daryl Gates, right over here. Chief, how you doing?
I don't Boston, Chief.
And finally, he has nothing to do with police work, but he looks like a cop. You do, Bob. He's an Emmy Award-winning winner, writer, comedian, and star of HBO's Mr. Show, Bob Odenkirk. How are you? Okay. Doesn't he look like he could be on the force? He's
Hello.
Clean cut.
Can I see your license? Why not?
He has a lot of police experience on the other end.
Oh,
maybe I do. I
that's
don't know.
probably true. Well, listen, if anyone thinks that we invited policemen here so we could get them, I don't want to disappoint you. Turn off the TV right now, because I didn't invite the policemen here to do that. Some people might think, oh, politically incorrect. They're having cops on and they're going to shred their heads.
So it's
no.
Get the Comic Night.
It's,
I won't feel at home.
But you would, yes, I'm sure you...
I won't feel at home. You're not here to get me. I'll never feel at home.
Well, let me ask you about that. Let me ask you, first of all, what you think about what I would call a lot of hypocrisy in this country on the part of the public. They like the idea of Dirty Harry, you know,
yes,
in the movies, the thin blue line, but then they complain when things...
Dirty Harry
turns out to be real.
attacks them.
Well,
yes. Well, yeah.
I mean, they want the result, I think,
right,
but they don't want to know how it's done.
And, you know, NYPD Blues, I think, is a fine example of that. They do almost everything that you're not supposed to do, and the public loves it.
Like what?
I even watch it, and well, they punch the guys around.
Right.
I saw them last night. They're squeezing the guy's head. You can't do that. You know, it's a felony.
Not in
California.
front of a camera.
Not in front of the camera, right there.
That's where they go wrong.
That's exactly right.
They film it.
Tell me about this thing, because we always hear cops, they're moody because they have to deal with scum, and I couldn't agree more.
That's only part of the bit, because they're dealing with scum. That's true.
What?
I think another major contributing factor is that policemen can't do anything right. They can only do degrees of wrong.
Right.
If they take no action, it's going to come down on them.
Right.
If they take some action, somebody's going to second guess it. They're going to get sued, they're going to get indicted, they're going to get chastised in some way. Pursuits are currently hot in the media. Do you chase, do you not chase? If you don't chase, you're not doing your job, and you're also allowing this felon to get away to commit more crime. If you do chase, somebody may get hurt, and you're going to get in problems for that.
So you're damned if you do and
There
damned if
is
you
no
don't.
right answer to any question a policeman has.
But tell me what's the scummiest thing you've ever seen, all of you, that you could not believe a human being sunk so low, that we never see something like that?
The worst thing that I have ever witnessed is many years ago working juvenile and seeing abused kids and seeing them in rat-infested with bugs crawling all over them and the mom and dad drunk in the corner. That's probably the scummiest thing that I've ever seen. And I've seen it many times.
I agree with you.
Well, I was going to be at an execution tonight, but I canceled that. Seriously.
What do you do to relax, by the way?
No, I'm serious. This scumbag, 18 years ago, killed a family of 4, including a small child, plus 3 others. It took 18 years to get rid of him.
But you got
That's
him.
what's wrong with our criminal justice and legal system. 18 years to get rid of him.
Hooray! The man that shot me has been on California's death row for 13 years now, and there's been no word as to him ever seeing the green room.
Right. Now, you've gotten shot, haven't you?
3 times.
In the same incident, or
Yes.
3 different times? But you're still against gun control.
Absolutely against gun control.
Really?
The gun didn't shoot me. The idiot did. They didn't put the gun on death row, did they?
Yeah, but come on, you're breaking it down to such a...
No, I could load a gun, cock it, and lay it on his table and leave it there for the next century, and it wouldn't hurt anybody.
I know, but in Britain, didn't they have like 11 murders last year? I mean,
You know, it's...
doesn't that say anything to you?
No, they have a totally
Because they have that
different...
accent, huh?
They have that silly accent. No, they have a totally different judicial system.
And the idea that prison is for reform, is that just a bunch of baloney?
In my opinion, there's only one purpose for prison. It's not rehabilitation, and it's not punishment. It is separating the good guys from the bad guys. That's all it is for X period of time. And there is where our court system is dropping the ball badly. And that is that they sentence somebody that should be sentenced for 10 years, they sentence them to 7, and they serve 3.
Right.
Why not put them in there for the 10 years? What's the matter with that?
But if you're in jail, you should never live better in jail or prison than you do on the outside. That's just a simple common sense criteria. And I also, I use the word punishment.
Okay.
Those people that are convicted should be punished. We discipline our kids, we punish our kids. Why can't you punish in a humane way? So I took everything away from them.
Punishment can be part of it, but certainly not rehabilitation. Webster defines rehabilitation is to restore to former usefulness. And that's exactly what prison does. They're just as useless when they get out as when they went in. No, don't try to rehabilitate them. Just separate them from society.
Enlightened views of a bitter... Listen, hey, look, you know, you got to try to rehabilitate people. I mean, we have to have higher ideals than just to lock people up.
No, we don't, because keep them away from society.
Who do police hate more, defense lawyers or minorities?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
that's a joke question. I'm just kidding. But we want to get into both those areas when we come back. We have to take a break. All right, we're back with our policemen. Let me ask you, what do you think the motivation is for people getting into it? Because I knew one kid in school that became a cop, and we all knew he always wanted to, and he was a hall monitor, and he really just wanted to have that little power over people, and I think that's the bad one. On the other hand, I've really only known one policeman in my life, and he was honest and did his job great.
Got the guy that locked you up? Or?
And I'll never forget that. and it always changed my
I'll tell you
view
what
of
motivated
policemen.
me, Bill.
But
is
yes,
every small child wants to be either a policeman or a cowboy, and I couldn't pass the test for cowboy.
So you wanted to be in the Village People somehow.
You know, I think it's more than that. I spent 43 years in law enforcement, and there was not a day that I got up in the morning and I didn't want to go to work. I mean, you never know what's coming.
I had a few, Chief.
But you never know what's coming. I mean, there's always something of interest happening. Even if it's a boring day, there's always something of interest. And you can't find another job like that.
Yeah.
You really can't.
But let me tell you what...
this one,
yeah,
right? Maybe,
what bothers, I think, a lot of people... Now, you mentioned you made the joke about you're not pretty.
Yes.
And you are, by the way.
But I got a little bit of makeup on.
I know a lot of girls who have been pulled over. We all do, for driving while pretty. And I think it's that kind of petty corruption that really bothers the public.
Some of them aren't real petty.
What do you mean? Yes, you're corruption, yes. But I mean, tell me about something like that, about girls, about women, about the sex. I mean, hookers. Come on, there's a lot of freebies.
Drugs, sex, hookers. Come on.
Let me address that personally.
Yes, please.
First of all, I want to say I have 2,000 employees, and you're only as good as your employees when you're the chief of police or the sheriff. I want to get that clear. Number two, when I was a cop in Vegas, you know, I went from Washington, D.C. to Vegas, I stopped a couple of women. You know what they said? Hey, officer, what time do you get off? 12 o'clock. Well, come on over for some coffee, and so on.
Well, you're
she got 2
Sheriff.
tickets. But obviously she got 2 tickets, right? But that happens once in a while. Everybody should be treated equally, whether you're pretty.
Well, come on, you have 2,000 policemen under your foot. You don't think any of them are using their job to get nookie?
Well, no.
No?
No one is perfect.
On.
No one is perfect. You always have problems in any organization.
Ken, did you ever do that?
It's called converting. I'm passing on the question, but I'll tell you, it's called, in at least L.A., it's called converting an on-duty contact to an off-duty relationship. And it's punishable, and it's very stiff. Am I right?
I'm sure it is. But, But that doesn't make it right, does it, Bob?
No. Is there some official procedure for that? You fill out forms? You know, the worst thing about that is the paperwork. You got to fill out 50 forms. I'll tell you. They never show that on TV.
Exactly.
No, Ken's right. Yeah, that's a violation, and I disciplined a lot of police officers for that. It happens. There's no question about it. On the other hand, there are a lot of very good marriages, a lot of kids that have come out of those kinds of relationships, and you say...
So listen, start a dating service.
Good marriages, and it's right to look at it. I mean, what job where you haven't met somebody that you kind of liked and it worked out,
and you have a gun, and they're under threat.
You've already got the handcuffs, you know, I mean, so... All right, we have to take a break. We'll be right back.
If you're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 213-852-2655.
Okay, we're here with our police panel, and let's talk about race, because certainly there is no other issue that's bigger in law enforcement. I'm going to read you a quote. This is from Mark Furman when he was on with Diane Sawyer, and it moved me, and I asked him to get this quote, and I'll give it to you. He said, "I'll give you an example of how much a white policeman is not only not a racist, but he's not even prejudiced. He spends most of his career in high-crime areas in a neighborhood he's never lived in, never will live in. His kids don't go to school there. His wife doesn't go to the grocery store. He lives, he dies, he buries people, he fights. For who? Not anybody he knows. Who else is giving that kind of a commitment?" Now, that's one side of it. The other side of it is they live in Simi Valley, and they patrol somewhere, like he says, where they don't go to school, where they don't have a stake in the neighborhood.
Bill, it doesn't matter where you live versus where you patrol, because a policeman...
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute. A policeman will become bigoted wherever he works. Depends on where he works. If you work the South End, you will become bigoted against the blacks. If you work on the East Side, you're going to become bigoted against the Latinos.
Right.
I worked Studio City for a while, and I got to where I didn't like white people very good. I'm serious. Wherever you work, because every contact is negative, you're dealing with the absolute scum of that particular racial or ethnic group, and you learn to hate them. You do.
And if you worked in Beverly Hills,
but it's not the group.
Then
it's the business that you're doing with them.
You'd hate the Jews.
Well, the suggestion is that they should live in those neighborhoods. And well, you mentioned Beverly Hills. I think every Beverly Hills police officer would like to live in that neighborhood.
Right. And that's another issue, because they probably can't, because the average policeman's starting salary is about $22,000. Right. And that's, again, hypocrisy of the public. Oh, yeah, the police, but they don't really want to pay them.
And I think that's one of the reasons why police officers have to get out and get to know the people that they're serving in that community. They've got to get out and get to know them, because the vast majority are good people. I don't care whether in the South End, the East Side, in the Valley, they're good people.
Not the people you're dealing with, though.
No, the people you're dealing with specifically are bad people. But to get the balance, you've got to get out and know that there are good, supportive, solid citizens everywhere out there.
Well, like on
I don't want to be new agey, but is there any way to handle all the stress that policemen go under that makes them hate, because they deal with so many negative, interactions? That's all they deal with. I mean, is it just nonstop? Are they just getting hit constantly?
No, sometimes you got to pull them out and give them a little R&R, a little rehabilitation, change the district, change the areas. You have to do that. Or you get some very cynical police officers, and that's another kind of a thing. You have to work them into the community. You've got to get them to know. We've got people in every community who are there, who will cook dinners for them, who have all kinds of parties, and when they get to know these people and get to know them in their homes, then that breaks down the cynicism, breaks it down.
You're right, Chief. The problem is that these are not the people that you deal with on a daily basis.
Exactly right.
These are the exception.
Right.
But you have to have that for the balance.
But look at the risk I take. I have 2,800 volunteers, posse I call them, 800 with the guns and the uniforms. I send them into the communities, go after the prostitutes, graffiti, deadbeat parents, protect the people, the malls. They're very successful. That's bringing the public into the fight against crime. That's volunteerism. That is best.
How about those little stickers that say, "I support my local police"? Does that mean a lot to you guys? Because I'll put them all over my back window.
I wanted to ask you...
Local
How
sheriff,
come
don't forget.
Firemen are in great shape, but all cops look like Dennis Franz? You know what? All right, we'll have to take a break. They'll think about that. We'll come back in a minute.